Way. It's a best of 5. Spawning up in the top left-hand side. Playing for Team Exceed. It is Reynor, the absolute monster. One of these young guns in the scene, just tearing it up. But we can't forget his opponent. Similar level player. It is Reynor. I mean Clem, pardon me. Oh, I already botched that. Either way, this is a best of 5. It's a Terran versus Zerg. It should be a good one. These guys, lots of banter, lots of love going back and forth in chat. But it should be a fantastic match here. These guys, a lot of banter. Now, interestingly enough, Reynor, I think himself, was a little surprised that Clem picked Backwater as his first map, but and then Clem's joking about camping with ravens, but I mean, Backwater is a map in which you can camp with ravens. It's a fantastic map, by the way. I'm not sure if Backwater is one of the maps that's being removed. I'd be rather sad if it was. I think it's a good take and a good balance. So we'll see the builds so far. Pretty standard stuff coming out of both these guys. I mean, we'll probably see the same build quite a few times in this series. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing like that. I don't think it will be, I think we may maybe get a cheese, a little more likely than some of the past matches in Afreeca world. For example, a laser was our Zerg representative for quite a while, so we pretty much saw the same build always, always, always. But maybe it'll be changed up a little bit this series. It's a best of 5, so there's a little bit of wiggle room for the players to do what they like. Now, I think the main question here is going to be what sort of build is Clem going to opt to do. Currently, it looks like he's opening with a Reaper, following it up with that sort of safety Marine. And then quite possibly Hellions will be the follow-up. Terran's really loving their Hellions again lately, and the map is Backwater, so it's easy to wall off the natural, then have the Hellions to move out. Clem's moving out scouting? Or is that to go for a very fast 3rd CC? It's quite possible it is. His Reaper's poking in while he's doing this, but he does have that SCV and he is going to throw up a 3rd CC, it looks like. So playing incredibly greedy so far. That Marine isn't opting to chase the Overlord, interestingly enough. Could it actually kill it though if it went for it? Or, maybe. I mean, that Overlord was just chilling there. I guess Clem maybe not wanting to fall for any potential baits, but I mean, he saw the other side of the map with his Reaper. Is the Reaper still alive, though? Nope. It is alive somewhere. Where's that Reaper at? There it is. Okay, it's just hanging out in the bushes. Starport on the way. So Clem is going for that very greedy 3rd CC. This is definitely the Backwater effect, being able to go for it on location like that. He's going to make these Hellions, which should protect him from any lings. He is moving out with them though, which is a little risky. I mean, as Reynor does have his speed, it's possible he can just make any number of lings at this point. Banshee is on the way for Clem too, so he is looking to maybe get some aggression on. Or some more harassment. No cloak on the way though, so it's possible this could just be to maybe poke Reynor a little bit, but nothing too big of a commitment. And here, this is Clem being punished for his move out though. It looks like he may lose these Hellions. He's already lost the Reaper. One of the Hellions is very bruised. The Lings are in hot pursuit. These other 2 Hellions could come to save the day, and it looks like they will. Reynor turns around immediately and gets out. So far we saw a Reaper go down for 4 Lings. Not the worst trade in the world, not the best. We'll see if these Hellions get repaired up. Clem is actually just opting to keep them out on the map, though. He is moving back with them. I would like to see that Hellion or 2 get repaired. Just may as well, right? So far, that one Marine needs to do his job and push this Overlord back, but I believe Reynor will have seen that 3rd command center. No, he actually hasn't. Maybe he didn't poke in far enough there. But these Marines are working away on this. He's not going to see too much, so he's a little bit in the dark there. Might have seen the SCV move out, but he hasn't gotten confirmation on that third CC. So economy-wise, Clem has gotten away with this greed for the most part. Now, if Reynor's going to match it with his own greed, I believe we'll likely see a fourth CC, or a fourth hatchery coming up for him relatively soon. He's currently playing the Roach style, though, Roach Hydra. Looks like it could be. No lair started just yet, so... Does he even have a Roach Warren yet? And he's getting the upgrades, but no Roach Warren on the field just yet, so he's cutting that corner a little bit. Either that or he just wants some really buffed out queens. There's the lair on the way, so it looks like he may be going into that Hydra Ling style with these upgrades, perhaps, as he hasn't invested in a Roach Warren. Maybe he feels he doesn't need it. 1-1 on the way for Clem, so both these guys getting their upgrades. Clem's really just going to be hitting his macro stride. Now, from the last Afreeca World, or maybe it wasn't the last one, and that it was the one before that. Perhaps. It was the Clem versus Snoot. I really enjoyed watching that. And Clem just made a lot of siege tanks. He went for very strong pushes, and that I actually started trying to play like Clem. I mean, obviously nowhere near as well, but I loved the style that he played. So just going for this macro 3cc aggression with lots of tanks and whatnot, I was a big fan of that. And it'll be interesting if we see that again. He's currently poking at one siege tank at a time. Those Hellions do go down. So he didn't get too much with those this game. Reynor pulling away, not wanting to give that Hellion a miracle shot. But so far, as the builds go, we've got the Hydralisk, then we've got the Infestation Pit on the way. Now we've got the Lings actually taking quite a few siege tank shots there. Getting only 7 Lings went down there, but that's 7 free Lings. So Clem sitting back at home, macroing up. He's on quite a solid economy. He's got his third CC up. It was a quick one too. Second factory is on the way, and now we're seeing his 1-1 will be finishing up soon too. So he'll be able to hit a time in here. It's currently just Lings. Going to be supported with some Hydras here. Now, the upgrades for the Hydras won't quite be done as Clem does push out. Now, we'll see what sort of window he's able to hit, whether he'll be able to expose the vulnerability of Reynor here. Reynor is a little bit exposed right now. Now, let's see, did Clem raise his wall? He did indeed, like a good Terran player. One of those tanks doing a bit of friendly fire right now. Clem's trying to poke forward, needs to clean up this creep. It's important to get right on top of that there. Reynor immediately goes to replace it though. And Clem's actually opting to turn around. Interestingly enough, maybe he is going to be aiming for that late game. He's got a 4th CC on the way. Not on location either. So far it looks like Clem sort of going the way of caution. Not necessarily poking in there. Now, interestingly enough, we've got some swarm hosts for Reynor, so this is a bit of a unique choice here. Now, this could be a bit of a bad investment if Clem actually does hit a window here. Keep in mind, there's no banelings for Reynor just yet. He's got these swarm hosts, which will harass the third. Clem's going to have to divert his attention there. However, with this push that's coming in here for Clem right now, I mean, there's no banelings for Reynor whatsoever. He's just going to be relying on these Hydras. There's 5 siege tanks. So that base does get evacuated. 12 SCVs do fall. But so far, it looks like this is going Reynor's way as he's just poking Clem back. Clem's not really able to get anything done. He may come in from the north now. Looks like he's looking for these swarm hosts, but there's so much else going on the map. Like, yeah, even if he gets the swarm host, just the fact that he's not doing much else, it's a little bit worrying for Clem right now, and he's actually just an inch away from these swarm hosts at this point in time. Here, looks like he has found the swarm host there. He's going to stem after them, chase them away. The swarm hosts are going to drop their eggs there to push back. The siege tanks, where are they at? I think they might have just fallen back. Yeah, they have. So, looks like Clem just poking and prodding, but he is possibly going to be going into that late game, it looks like. I mean, he's going to have 2-2, but this game, the time isn't in his favor, so the fact that he hasn't tried to make anything happen is a little bit surprised. Maybe it's because Clem's a better player than me, but it is a bit concerning. It is indeed a bit concerning that he hasn't gotten anything done, and yeah, he's going to have a lot of tanks, but Vipers will be out. This heavily upgraded Zerg army, Adrenal Glands will be done, which is going to be huge. Looks like these Medivacs could get caught here. Now keep in mind, there is still no Banelings for Reynor, which is a little concerning here. I mean, both these guys are sort of playing a unique style right now. Those Marines taking favorable trades with the Lings so far. These guys are actually at equal resources lost currently in this game, though. But there's a lot of tanks for Clem. And this is a Clem amount of tanks if I've ever seen it. So he's still liking this style. That base does get killed off there from the seam of things. Clem now going to be poking forward, hitting this window. Vipers were on the production tab, I believe. So there's a few Vipers out. Some Blinding Clouds will be able to go down. We'll see how well Clem has split his tanks. Now, there's no Banelings as well, so this Bio can trade as long as it's not completely Blinding Clouded. There's a few Siege tanks at the back still doing work. This Bio's standing strong. There's a lot of Medivacs to heal it. So it looks like that Clem is actually managing to push in right now. Reynor in a bit of a spot of bother. He's got this great economy. He's macroed up happily, but for now his 4th base is under fire. More Siege tanks are getting set up, and there's still plenty of Siege tanks. A lot of the Bio went down, but this massive tank army is still there. Clem macroing back at home, producing a lot more units. He's throwing up more CCs, and he's done almost critical damage at this point, I'd say. Even if Reynor hangs on, he's not in a fantastic spot. These Swarm Host Locusts are coming in. There may actually just be enough to shut this down here. The Hydras are going to poke forward still, but these tanks should be able to trade and at least pick off a few of them. So Clem is going to be pushed back, but he managed to kill off the 5th. Or the 5th and the potential 6th, and he's poking, and once again he did lose a lot of Medivacs though, which is a bit concerning there. Clem needs to be careful not to overextend himself. He's cleaned up some of the creep as well while this has been going on. The Swarm Host actually looking to hit an angle for a Reynor there. That was an investment that was a bit concerning. I mean, if during that fight he had invested in Baneling speed and made some Banelings instead of those few Swarm Hosts, maybe it would have been a bit more of a wash for him. But he did ultimately shut it down. Now the 4th base, or the 3rd base, pardon me, is going to be under fire for Clem. The SCVs are going to be forced to pull. I mean, the sensor tower saw its own demise coming right now. A few units are actually coming in to shut these down. Even a Ghost in there, as Clem is transitioning right now. He's throwing up starports, and he was joking about playing Ravens. Well, it's not really a joke. It was more of a threat. But he is transitioning right now, and he's macroing up. Looking at the resources lost, he is ahead still. So, I mean, the game of efficiency could go his way. Reynor's mining more and more, but he was on a bit of a stifled economy for a short little while there. I mean, 4 bases isn't exactly a stifled economy, but he was starting to mine out. Now, Broodlords are on the way, but Clem is making a lot of ghosts, and we saw from Clem versus Snoot in the previous Afreeca World that Clem can play this style. Locusts are coming in once again, gonna actually surround a Siege tank. That tank didn't stand a chance there. These Locusts will get shut down, not going to trade much. I mean, this is why we don't see Swarm Host versus Bio that often, but Reynor doing a good job at least getting his money's worth using them, because you may as well. Now we've got Broodlords and Mass Hydras on the cards for Reynor. Now, interestingly enough, we've seen no AoE just yet. I mean, there's Blinding Cloud, but we have not seen any Banelings, we've not seen any Infestors, and we've not even seen any Ultralisks. Which is a little bit concerning here. Clem moving out, shutting down this group spread would be nice, because if he does plan on expanding in the future, he can't really have that. These Ghosts are sniping some Hydras, because why not? I mean, Hydras can still be expensive. There's only 5 Broodlords as well, and there's quite a Ghost count for Clem. He's at 11. I mean, each Ghost take 2 snipes per brood. He's got enough to kill him, just basically instantly. Now this 3rd base is under fire once again. Reynor doing a good job with that. How many sensor towers have been lost in this game? You'll have to, I can't quite remember the hotkey for that. Is it Shift P? No, I can't even remember if you can tell how many structures have been lost. But thanks to everyone for tuning into this Afreeca World. I mean, this could be a long match for a first one. Oh, these Ghosts, are they going to get snipes on the Swarm Host? Oh, they do throw out their Locust there. Clem evacuates them, though, so one poor Swarm Host does go down there. Hang on, let me just see if I can remember the hotkey here. Units killed. No. Bummer. Oh well. So right now we've got Clem looking to take another base. It's a good thing not to get stopped, not to sort of just get locked up. No nukes are on the way for Clem. It would be nice to maybe see one or two of those building. As and there's the AoE for Reynor. His army's now looking much more scarier with these infestors, with these banelings. Doesn't have baneling speed just yet. But versus just these Marines and Ghosts, Reynor's gonna say, uh-oh, Broodlords too. There's a Raven or two out. One anti-armor missile goes down to great effect. They're hitting pretty much as it can. A lot of snipes going down on these Broodlords, however. Fungal Growth blocking this army up. There's not too many Ravens just out. The army isn't too terrifying for Clem right now. He's getting good snipes off, though. Lands an EMP as well, shutting down most of those infestors. Another goes down. However, these Vipers actually abducting Ghosts there. Clem is trading right now, however, with these Broodlords. It looks like he is going to be forced back. Hasn't managed to secure his base here. And he could be in a spot of bother right now. He's got a good bank. Both these players do. However, the army for Reynor does seem to be just a bit much. The army supply for Clem was a bit tied up. He didn't have those tanks. They were a little bit dead supply at this point with the Broodlords being out. We'll see what else is on the cards. And more Ghosts are being produced. As there was once 11. There was 4 out in a medivac somewhere else. I think they may have joined up with the main army at this point. But it looks like Reynor will back off, but he more or less accomplished his goal. He denied that base being taken there. More Ravens being produced, but looking at this, Reynor making up for all those banelings he didn't make later on. He just made 36 banelings. He's got 36 on the field, so if he decides to just poke in here, there's a good number of siege tanks though, and not too many Vipers. In fact, most of the Vipers may have gone down. These Ravens actually slaughter banelings too. Good micro so far from Clem, sort of just absorbing this army, so that trade actually went his way. So Reynor not getting too much done there. Snipes going down, picking off some of these units. I think even a baneling or two getting sniped in there. Clem desperately needs to secure this base. I mean, it's not really at the desperate stage just yet, but it's going to be getting there as most of his other bases mine out. Once he gets that PF, he'll be very happy as it's more solidified. His army's actually clumped up, and fungal growth goes down there. Doesn't quite hit, but the planetary goes down as well. So Clem could be in a bit of trouble here. He's gonna have to kite back from these banelings. There's blinding cloud as well. These Marines are gonna need to run. There's a few ghosts. Well, there's quite a few ghosts at this point. However, the banelings really make all the difference in the world here. A lot of these banelings are going down so far, but Clem, time is not on his side, whereas Reynor has managed to secure all these extra bases here. Clem's kiting back right now, and he never did manage to build up that very high Raven count. Now the army has been thinned out for Reynor. He's got a few reinforcements going down, but these Broodlords all get sniped. And there goes the supply for Reynor, so he drops down a fair bit. And suddenly he's behind a significant amount in the resources lost. There's got to be another PF or a base floating over. There we go, another command center. Clem, like a good late game Terran, building lots of command centers. He's got another one. However, the time that it's going to take to float over may just be a bit too long here. Now, as long as Clem's in a good situation, these swarm hosen never letting up here. Actually dealing good damage. They've really done a blow to the economy for Clem. 5 Infestors, 5 Ultralisks on the way. No, Ghosts are the counter to this, but there's not too much muscle to prevent Reynor from just overrunning Clem at this point. With the Banelings, with the Infestors, he sort of has had to kite back, but without the Planetary Fortress up just yet in this base, it's taken so long to float on over. It's not going to be a PF. So Reynor may actually be able to hit a window that really shouldn't have been there. It's always good to have a CC on reserve, but it was just a bit too far away for Clem, I think, and that could actually be a big deal because a planetary can make all the difference in a situation like this. A few more tanks are moving forward, which is a huge deal. I'd like to see Clem maybe get ready for a pre-split or something like this because Reynor's going to be coming on in, and I don't know if Clem is going to be ready. He's had 1 or 2 good fights. He's got a good army supply here as well. However, he's going to have to micro his heart out right now. He's just kiting back, and that's really all he can do. He's got to fall back. Banelings are rolling forward, though. They do manage to get absorbed. on this ramp here. Fantastic EMP going down on the infestors as well. Clem having fantastic control here. Snipes are going down on these Ultras. Kite Marines chasing after Ultras. That's not something, however, the Ultras turn around now, and the Marines have to think that decision through. But so far, Clem's making it work. A little bit surprisingly, dare I say, these Ultras are getting blanketed with snipes. Most of them, all of them, have now gone down. A ghost or two pays the price there, but I believe that trade was in favor of Clem. Reynor's bank, still pretty big though. He's got all these bases, resources lost though. He's behind a significant margin, and if this does go into that full-on late game, it is certainly going to go Clem's way with not losing as many resources. He's secured this base now. That's a very important mark. 21 ghosts have fallen, but so many Hydras, so many Banelings, Ultralisks, and Infestors too. And now we're even seeing a few Ravens being made for Clem once again. Clem looking to secure the base in the top left, but so is Reynor. I mean, he figures it's simple math. Even if he mines just a few resources, that could hurt Clem in the long run right now. So it's important that base gets shut down. A Ling run by, love to see this coming out of Reynor. But Clem, with these cloaked ghosts, will actually shut that down with relative ease. Good drop from Clem as well, getting some harassment on the top right. The longer he denies the mining of this base, the more opportunity he has to sort of find leverage in this game. Base in the bottom left has been scouted as well by the floating planetary fortress. It's sort of seen what's going on. A few ghosts and Marines are going to go shut down that base there. Now these ghosts are rather out of position. It's a little bit worrying here. The base gets cancelled. Clem needs to be careful though. The army for Reynor is rather terrifying. Look at all these infestors. A lot more bases are going up. These ghosts are actually going to be caught out there. They're going to need to cloak to hide away. These banelings are rolling forward. Planetary Fortress is standing strongest, absorbing a lot of this army. A massive fungal growth goes down though. However, the base goes down, but the army trade I think certainly went in the favor of Clem there once again. So Reynor sort of just throwing units away here. And so far, with Clem's ghost control, he's standing strong. He's got that PF. He's going to take the base in the bottom left, have to float over another CC here. He's got another one building, so he won't be short of a PF, assuming he transforms that. Now, Reynor once again making this army, but his bank's going down. He lost the base in the top right. I keep mentioning the numbers game, the efficiency. That's not necessarily a factor yet, as both these guys are still mining a lot, but it could be some drones even going down there. Every bit helps there. Now, Clem needs to be careful not to overextend. He's been doing fine defending. Reynor's tried to break him a few times, but he hasn't succeeded. The ghost count, also very scary for Clem. 20 ghosts. That's a fortune in ghosts right there. Planetary Fortress getting up in the bottom left. Reynor not managed to do anything. A Ling run by going to get in this time, and this is quite a scary one at that. The supply depot not going to get up, unfortunately. He's going to have to raise the one in the main base there. Siege tank getting up, however, could be in a bit of trouble. Oh, did he actually lose that base there? There's not much gas got mined there, so that's actually going to be a factor later on. But this base never managed to become a planetary fortress, and that will go down. So we're Reynor managing to deal some economic blows to Clem once again. One of these, I'm going to remember the hotkey. A few ghosts going down, and that was actually quite a few ghosts there. These Ultras, though, wandering too far forward, snipes are going to blanket them. They're dead instantly. Now, the economy for Clem. He's got this base, and that's really what's keeping him in it, as his base and as this sort of a lower base mines out. And he's eventually going to really need to secure this base. That one infestor will get caught out there, those Marines avoiding it, but going to get right on top of it. Nicely done. Will it go down? Yes, it will. Snipes going down. Another Ultralisk pops, and those are expensive. That's a large chunk of resources that Reynor's losing. And these guys are slowly starting to mine out. And their situation will become more and more desperate here. 8 more infestors on the way for Reynor. He's got a massive gas bank, so that's how he's going to break it. Looking at the units lost here, we can see with the amount of Lings and Hydras that have gone down where all the minerals have gone. So now he's just spending his gas on a ton of infestors. A Nidus might not be the worst thing in the world for Reynor, in my opinion. If he's making a lot of infestors, maybe Nidus into the main base, throw a lot of infested Terran. Clem has done a good job, though, keeping his main base alive. Reynor hasn't quite made a commitment there. A few ghosts going down. A scan, actually, as this ghost was tasked with executing those burrowed swarm hosts. One of them still remains there, and the ghost does get away. So that's a nice trade there for Clem. A nuke on the way, too. Bit of creep getting cleaned up. The one swarm host is still alive there, though. Those Marines are going to forfeit their lives. The two Locusts moving out. Maybe could have gotten a tank, but they're going to have to settle for something. I don't know what. A bit of damage on an eBay. But Clem, looking at this, he's securing this base in the top left. He's making a lot more command centers. I don't know if he needs that many. I mean, he's got 5 orbitals already. Unless he's going to make a lot of PFs here or something. I mean, he's got the missile turrets already. That is nice to see. But so far, Reynor's very broke at this point. He's thrown away about 10,000 more resources. He can't afford to trade out. Maybe once more. He's getting this base up in the top right. Going to give him a bit more life. But pretty soon these guys' economy is really going to drop off. Keep in mind, guys, this is a best of 5. So a lot of StarCraft 2 going on today. Scans being blanketed down. I guess that's half the reason for all these command centers. Ghosts poking forward. There's a lot of infestors, a lot of ghosts. It's sort of a dance. Clem so far has been, I think, getting the upper hand in that trade. And he's also managed to bank up a few Ravens while this has been going on. So Reynor could be in a bit of trouble there. These Ravens are also looking for something too. Scans going down on this army. He wants to just blanket it in those Vipers looking around. Fungal goes down, catches 2 Ravens. That's something nice. EMP's landing on so many of the infestors. A snipe going down on another one. And those Ravens actually got out of there. Ling run by, a few Ultras as well. Killing off the eBays, but that's not going to get too much done. Ghost, Cloak, being able to pick this off. Cloak does run out for them, but all of these Ravens should be able to clean this up. So Reynor getting a little desperate here. Now he has freed up that base, but this base in the bottom left, there's actually no planetary there. I mean, he didn't transform either of these into planetary. There's the siege tank. But Reynor doesn't decide to go for the base. I mean, even if he kills it, Clem will likely just be able to reestablish that base. So I'm not sure what move Reynor needs to make to be able to sort of bring this back. I mean, he's just played less efficient than Clem has so far. Clem just went for those early ghosts. He took fantastic engagements. Reynor was almost able to break Clem, but not quite. Now we've got these infestors landing a fungal and a ghost, but there's a few more there. So an infestor pops and not much else is gained there. These ghosts, another scan goes down, another snipe. Infestors are falling. I think that Reynor is gonna be going down 0-1. It looks like so far. Clem's bank now bigger than Reynor's, and it will continue to grow that way. There's that nuke. So Clem. Clem poking with these Marines, really going for anything that he can. Maybe these Marines can pick off that Ultra. They actually managed to get it, and they get out. That's quite impressive. Not many Marines can say they killed an Ultralisk, even if it was a highly bruised one. Scans going down. The creep's been slowly pushed back by Clem. He's building up a large bank. Reynor, I'm not sure, is wondering what to do. He's got a good chunk of corruptors now, which will be able to help with the Ravens. However, the ghosts are I think the main issue here for his opponent. Another Ling run by going down for Reynor. These ghosts are going to have to cloak. One of them may go down. Nope. Completely fine. Reynor has to back off there. More CCs going up for Clem. He's going to have scans for days. He's really just locking this place down. And the command center, the offensive command center in a way, going to go down. A lot of Seeker missiles going down. Those Hydras getting bruised up. And a lot more going down, slaughtering that army there. There goes a few more. The army stacking up for Reynor, and I think that's gotta be it, pretty much. I mean, Reynor's got a bank, but what can he rebuild? He's making more Broodlords. Maybe he's just gonna try and go for broke, go for a push, now that the Ravens are mainly out of energy. Hope that there's not enough snipes to deal with all the Broodlords. EMPs. Clem's been so good with seeking out these great EMPs. These Lings harassing this base. Gas hasn't been able to be mined here just yet. As well, a bit has been mined, but there's still a lot of gas there that Clem will want to get one day. These Ravens moving forward, though, a lot of those Infestors are going to go down, and I think this is the last push from Reynor. He's moving in with the Broodlords. There's still 25 ghosts on the field. And I don't know if there's going to be an answer for this. Reynor, I think, is almost without hope at this point. There's not too much energy left on the Ravens. The Broodlords can maybe try and push, but there's so many ghosts here. Snipes going down. Every Broodlord that falls pushes Reynor further away from victory, further away from a comeback. Clem's just played this game how he wanted, and Reynor questioned Blackwater as the pick for Clem, but no. This is what Clem wanted. Scans for days going down. That's almost a BM level of scans. Snipes, so many snipes going down. The Broodlord's just going to fall. A Blinding Cloud does save Reynor for a bit there, but these ghosts are just going to shred through all these light units here. Snipes going down on the Broods. More and more of them falling, but Clem does have to go back. But Reynor's broke. He's dropping in supply. There's all the Ravens alive still. I think this is going to be the game for Clem. A Transfuse is going down. But it's looking pretty desperate for Reynor here. It's been a slow death, I suppose. With Clem trading more efficient than his opponent. Another Ling run by moving in, but so far these haven't gotten too much done. Ling's heading into the natural. A few Marines gonna chase him down. Nah, those Marines. Yeah, they'll be able to shut them down. I'm gonna have to burn a scan, but he's got plenty of those. Reynor almost mined out. Clem still mining a little bit. Income-wise, both these guys dropping just so many scans, 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 scans. More ghosts being added, because why not? Clem's still mining far more. Seeker missiles going down on this army. I think Reynor, I'm not sure what he can do. I think he's just in trouble. If he knew what Clem had, and I think Clem's almost saying, get out of this game with all these scans here. There's just so many scans going down. More CCs going up. Okay, I think we're reaching a little bit of BM territory here. All these scans going up for Clem. And I think next game we're going to see some aggression. I doubt Reynor wants a repeat of this. I mean, not every map is backwater, pardon me. But this has got to be a little concerning here. Creep is being cleaned up. Clem is poking in. Maybe wondering, why do I have to move in and kill you? Shouldn't I just be able to scan you out of the game? I think if Clem was a little bit more BM, he'd be dropping mules at this point. He knows he's got this game. Reynor maybe has one fight left in him, but I mean, of all the previous fights, which he had a massive bank to remax on, now he's not even maxed out. So I question whether this is going to work. Banelings may be the way to do it. He's got, if he can get some miracle connections on the ghost, if Clem decides to clump up all those ghosts, but look at these ghosts, they are nowhere near Clem. Here comes in the push. EMP's blanketing down on the army there. I'm even eating a parasitic bomb there, dealing some damage to his own units, but there's just going to be nothing left for Reynor here. Snipe's going down. A few of the units went down, but there's just so many ghosts. There's one infester. Maybe the Miracle Fungal can do it, but nope, so many EMPs. Snipe's going down on pretty much every unit there. I think Reynor's going to have to get out of this game now. GG gets called. Reynor's going to tap out. Alrighty, so we're going to get on into the next game. The next map. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. That was about a 30-minute game. 36, actually. The second map is going to be Catalyst. This one's Reynor's pick, so we'll see how he's going to be able to bring it back. I mean, that was a long one to start things off. Sometimes we have aggression early on. Alrighty, so we're going to be getting on into the next match in just a second here. Understandably, Clem wants a break, but thanks to everyone for tuning in. So if every game is like this, my voice is gonna die. Alrighty, both players are ready. We're gonna get on into it. Thanks to everyone for tuning on into Afreeca World. It's the next match. These guys are gonna be going at it once again. That was a crazy long game for the first one. We'll see how the next one's gonna go. It's a best of 5. It took a while, but he managed to take the first game, and in a pretty convincing fashion when the game started to go his way. It's Clem. And his opponent spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map. I don't know if he's going to want to sign up for something like that again. It's Reynor. Both these guys for Team Exceed. Not too much to talk about from the build orders. No, Reynor is a guy who can be aggressive. He's got fantastic micro, so maybe we'll see something along those lines. I mean, it's a little bit harder to just... I mean, when we first saw Reynor really break out, it was at WCS Valencia. He had fantastic Ling Bane micro and ZVZ. We'll see what he's able to do this time. I mean, he's shown fantastic control with his units, but in the late game, it's a lot harder to do that sort of individual fine micro, which he really exceeds at, I think, versus Terran, perhaps. So we'll see what sort of build Clem's going to go for. Now, Clem is a player who's shown that he can go for whatever he likes. And I mean, if I recall, he went for late game versus Snoot on Catalyst, so it's possible he'll want to play the same way. It's not as set up as friendly for such a greedy opening like 3cc, but he could still get to that late game like he did before. We'll see what sort of build is coming out of both these guys. Reaper on the way for Clem here. Not opting for that safety Marine, it looks like, going straight into that reactor. Reaper's moving out. Clem going with caution once again, keeping that Reaper close at home in case it was something like a cheeky 16 pool or 14 pool, but it was not. Third hatchery on the way for Reynor already. Starport on the way for Clem. Looks like he may be going for that Banshee once again here. Reaper must have actually gone down somewhere. Huh, pardon my poor observing, I missed that. But I believe the Lings may have been waiting at the top of the ramp, and they managed to catch it. So that's a nice pick-off there for Reynor. Anything helps. It's StarCraft 2 after all. Viking is on the way, going to be able to shoo away Overlords, then maybe go into something else. Another Tech Lab is on the way, so it's possible that this is going to be for siege tanks and he'll swap the factory over. Maybe, or it'll just be for Stim, Cloaked Banshee, or a Raven follow-up. But 2 Tech Labs is a little bit unusual at this point. Hellions are on the way still. This Viking is going to be popping out. Going to be able to pick off that Overlord. We'll see if he's able to get the one in the main. Immediately rallies the Viking to chase after that Overlord, or pardon me, the Liberator that's going to be coming out. Another Tech Lab going to be on the way. This Viking going to be showing, going to be hunting down this other Overlord, so that's a nice pick off there. Going to supply block Reynor a little bit. Reynor making a Baneling nest, interestingly enough. Maybe a bit worried about a Hellbat timing. Only making 4, starting a lair. No sign of Hellbats just yet. I mean, he didn't see too much. He saw Stim on the way. He saw Hellions, but he did see the 3rd CC. So he's got to be feeling fine. Vor Viking scouting around, looking to push some Overlords out of the way. Hellions are poking on in once again. Stimpack on the way, a few more barracks. Clem's macroing up once again, making these siege tanks. He's got his 3rd CC on the way. It's not on location, and it wasn't as quick as the last game, I don't believe, but he's still going for that macro. Once again, he's confident with it. That Liberator picked off 2 drones, but nothing else too major there. Bit of creep getting cleaned up here by these Hellions. Looks like Reynor's going for a surround on the Hellions, though he managed to get him in the last game, and it looks like he's going to be able to get him in this one. Baneling's not even being used there, so that's a nice pick-off. 8 Lings for 6 Hellions, the Reaper, the Liberator. So far, Reynor's doing a good job in this game. Now, he is still going to have to manage to hold off the next wave that's going to be coming out of Clem, the Stim Terran now. He's got that fantastic tech. He's going to have some Medivacs out. And Clem is a Terran who can drop, but I think Reynor's a guy who should be able to shut down drops with relative ease. So far, As we've seen, Reynor has made banelings this game, not skipping them. Fourth base on the way for Reynor here. 1-1 on the way for both players. Infestation pit already on the way too. So Reynor, if he just macros up this game, I think he'll be in a fantastic spot. Maybe goes for some quicker Ultralisks or something like that. Not relying on the mass Hydra for so long. He's making banelings as well though, so he could possibly be planning to go for an attack or just playing it safe. Making quite a few Banes, making Hydras, just making units from here on out, really. Clem moving out with a double drop. Gonna have to be so careful with this. That Viking spots all those lings at the third base. And there's actually not too much here to shut this down. Clem saw this, but did he really see it? The siege tank shooting some of the lings, but the SCVs are gonna start falling. There's just a few siege tanks here. Another tank is getting set up, but the SCVs are forced to pull. 5 SCVs have fallen so far. This drop is occurring on the main base, but he's going to have to get on out of there. Just clearing up a bit of creep. Nothing else going on. 8 SCVs have fallen in total. A few more may go down as well. Nicely done by Reynor. The game is certainly going his way this time, changing things up. He's even going for another small bit of harassment. And it doesn't look like Clem's going to be in position there. Clem's economy has been hurt. He's just starting his +1 attack. No +2. There's the armor on the way there. It'd be good to see a siege tank placed at the third. That wall's going to have to get up as well. Nice drop from Clem. Actually got into the main base. There's a few units there, but with good focus fire, he may be able to pick off these banelings. A few more lings are coming forward, though. Nice focus fire by Clem, but he does have to get out. Doesn't quite get that last baneling, and we all know how one baneling can ruin a Terran's day. Queens are in position there, but Clem going to have to be careful not to get caught out. Going to go and load these medivacs there. A drop at the fourth base, actually just running right on in. Nicely done. Picking off this creep, but he's going to manage to slaughter some of these drones here. The Queen's going to go down as well. Going to get maybe an Overlord or just some more drones. Trading as well. So Clem is managing to get some work done with these drops here. Reynor's done a decent job defending them so far, but he's just been a little bit out of position. As these drops, and now this drop coming in once again in the main base. Reynor is prepared for this one, though. Only 2 banelings, though, but oh, they do get fantastic connections there, so a lot of those Marines going down. Clem has to evacuate. One of the medivacs falls, but so far, Clem getting a bit of counter damage done there, keeping his opponent busy, and looking at the upgrades. There's no 2-2 on the way for Reynor. He hasn't started those upgrades. I don't know if he just wants to get a lot of supply or if he forgot them, but he is just churning out units, it seems, so he may just be going for broke here. Clem sees this, but with a drop full of Marines that's going to go down, now he's going to have to defend this. He's got a good chunk of siege tanks. He's got a wall at his third base, and this drop, but he's going to have to defend this very well right now, and there's not too much. The siege tank count is going to be absolutely massive here. He needs to siege that extra tank. I don't know if he's realized the full sort of threat as to what's coming his way right now. It's going to be very tough for Reynor to push up this hill, but he's got a lot of muscle right now. +2 is going to finish for Clem in a second, and that will be a big deal. He's sieged up the extra tank. He's looking to take a fourth. He's just harassing right now. Clem's got to be thinking, what else is going on here? This CC is going to see the Hydras. SCV is going to need to turn around there. Clem moving forward needs to be so careful. Reynor may just be waiting for Clem to move down this ramp, and oh, here it goes. The attack's coming in. Clem needs to kite back, but he's going to get this around. The back rocks were broken down. Siege tanks were unsieged there. The tanks are acting as a buffer, though. Clem's forced to kite back. He's absorbing a lot of the banelings with his Marines. He's cutting back. He's got a few more tanks there. He may just be able to hold here. It's looking rather rough, though. More siege tanks are poking forward. He's got a good chunk of bio, but he's backed into a corner, backed into his own wall, even. SCVs are going to be pulled, but it is just Hydras. These are +2 Marines, so they will be able to deal a lot of damage. Banelings rolling onto the bio there. It's just Marines versus Hydras. There may just be a bit too much. A siege tank doing its best, but 30 SCVs have fallen so far. Another tank is popping out, but it pops out, and it doesn't even matter at this point. Reynor managed to break his opponent, skipped those upgrades, just went for it. Very well done, and he ties it up with a nice aggressive play there. Doesn't let Clem reaches a happy stage there. We're going to be getting on into the next match here. The next map is going to be, I will have to double check. gonna be Eastwatch. There we are. This is Clem's map pick as well. Eastwatch, one of these bigger maps, so Clem really showing that he can go the late game. Reynor's a little bit of a chaotic Zerg. Alrighty, we'll be getting on into the next match in just a second here. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first best of 5, keep in mind, so there'll be another one after that. Thanks to everyone for tuning on in. So the next map will be Eastwatch. Alrighty, both guys are ready. We're getting on into it, the next match. Should be a fantastic one here. I mean, the past 2 games have been absolutely wonderful. We're going to be getting on into the next one. Then we'll have a short break. But here we are, Exceed. Alrighty, it's currently 1-1, spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map. It is Clem. And his opponent spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. It is Reynor. Both these guys being on the same team makes it easy. Exceed picked up both of them. Got 2 fantastic players who could go a long way in the scene. Oh, here it is. I was wondering if we were going to get this. It's going to be a Proxy 2 Rax coming out of Clem. But Reynor, with the mind games, with the hard counter, aware of what's coming his way, maybe he senses it. It's going to be pretty much the hardest counter that you can get versus a Proxy 2 Rax, so it's going to be a bit of a rough spot for our French Terran player. Second Rax is going to be going up, but with this build, it's going to be very tough for Clem to get much done. It's a speed opening 2, so there's going to be very quick speed. Unless he goes for just a Baneling Nest, but that's not likely. So Reynor, this isn't your average safety pool. This is your I want to get some aggression done pool. Unfortunately for Clem, the two builds are lining up, and this is works out in the favor of Reynor here. 6 Lings already on the way. The barracks just going to be finishing across the map. And honestly, Clem may just GG when he scouts this. And he will see these Lings, by the way, right as they pop out. 8 Lings on the way. Clem, we'll see if Clem just GG's. Actually, he keeps the SCV back at home, so he's going to have no idea this is on his way. This is on the way. Oh, SCVs get caught. Now Clem's in trouble. He's going to have to micro his heart out here. He's got to run to a corner or something like that to hold on. He's actually just running by the Marines. These guys are going to split as well as they can, but this could just be GG here. A factory started, but Marines are running every which way. A barracks is going to go to the second, but looking at this, the factory's just on the way back at home. It's possible that Reynor will just be able to deny it. Units, there's 1 Marine out on the map, but 2 Lings are going to chase it down. There's speed on the way. Now, keep in mind, Clem is, or Reynor is on 13 workers here. But we're gonna have to see, is this factory gonna get up? That's the big question. Will the Lings be able to get it? Reynor's gonna have to pull an SCV or two to repair this wall here, and then make a Hellion, the quickest building unit he can. So this is gonna do a blow to Clem's economy here. He's starting the Hellion though, so he may just hold on here. This is a bit of an odd way for things to line up. Reynor looks like he's going to be starting a third hatchery, but this barracks may try and block it. Will it block it? Oh, I think the hatch will just get up there. The drone's going to block it landing anyway. The Hellion's going to be out now. It's going to force those Lings back. We'll see the reactors start building by this extra barracks. Those SCVs are going to have to go back to mining right away. It's no Baneling Bust or anything out of Reynor, but it's a bit of an odd opening for these guys. With the third already on the way for Reynor, I'd say he's maybe in the lead. It's hard to know exactly in this situation. Second Hellion is out on the way. I believe Clem's going to have to make a third. Oh, he's actually lifting off. That is bold versus all these Lings here. 2 Hellions? That's a lot of Lings here. He's going to have to be very careful. This is so bold. Oh, Clem's got to be paying attention. Okay, he's watching it like a hawk. These Lings aren't going to make it up the ramp. He's not even finishing the wall. He's got 2 more Hellions on the way. Cloaked Banshee is going to be on the way. That's going to be tough for Reynor. He will possibly have to invest in spores to defend against that. And on a low economy, that's not something great. So that's a nice move for Clem there. SCVs begin transferring immediately. Hellion's looking around. Stim pack on the way here for Clem. He's following this up with a standard macro stuff, walling off in the low ground, not finishing his high ground wall off, but that can be done later. I guess protecting his natural is the most important. Cloak finishing up here. That Banshee already out on the map. It's going to be heading towards the third base. There's a spore at every base though. So it looks like that Clem's just going to have to play from behind here. Maybe start a third CC relatively quick. There's roaches already on the way, but now roaches are slow. Maybe Clem can dive in with his Hellions to get some damage done. Maybe, just maybe. One is on the way for Clem, so he is going to be maybe going for a bit of a 2 base here. Having 1-1 will help out versus roaches, whereas an Evo is just going to be finishing up for Reynor, so he'll be behind at least a little bit in that regard. Now the Banshee hasn't gotten too much done here. I believe a Banshee may have actually gone down, and it did. So that's pretty unfortunate for Clem there. He's poking in. These Hellions may be able to get into the main base. There's roaches, but they're repositioning there. Reynor not going to be getting caught out. These Hellions are going to try and dive in, but those roaches immediately turn them around. So Clem having a tough time finding some damage. He may just have to throw up a third and accept that he's got a macro, or maybe go for a push. He will have the 1-1, which will be nice. But Reynor's economy is going to be getting really scary soon. He's just churning out the drones here, and he's at that 66, so now if he chooses, he can just start making units. So Clem is behind in this situation. And Clem is a player who loves Marines. Some Marauders, I think, at this time would be a good addition. Banshee getting a few kills here, but nothing major. Does go down. Armory gonna be on the way, so at least these Hellions will be able to turn into a bit of a buffer. Clem could come back with dropping. Terrans have been doing it pretty much since the beginning of time. This drop is gonna unload in the main base here. gonna get one of those pesky overlords. If this drop had been a surprise, it would have been absolutely huge, but it's not, unfortunately. Combat shield just starting. You know, these Marines may be able to get on top of some of these roaches. Get a queen, get a roach, get out. Guess that's what Clem can hope for here. You can always go back in later. Gonna pick off another overlord here. If he unloads, that is. Nope, roaches are gonna be able to save it now. More roaches on the way here for Reynor, so he's just massing them up and looking at the supply. It's quite a difference there. +2 on the way for Clem here. Now Clem is still on 2 bases, keep that in mind. Or pardon me, he has a 3rd up. But he's floating it all the way to his 3rd location, and that's quite a distance there. He's unloaded in the main though once again, and I believe this hasn't been seen, so he's going to get a few drones. Nicely done by Clem, coming back with drops, or at least attempting to. Dealing a bit of damage to that layer. Gonna have to get out though. And now the train of slow roaches is on the march for Reynor here. He's got a good amount of, or a decent amount of siege tanks. He's gonna have his combat shield finishing up, but I don't know if Clem's aware of this. He's gonna go break down these rocks, but this army is gonna be looking a little bit tough here. Clem doesn't have this supply here, and he's down a lot, so this attack could be fatal right now. They're even on upgrades. Here comes the attack. Clem's gonna have to stim on up. He's got the tanks in good positions here. He may have to pull the SCVs, but he doesn't have too many of those, so I think this could just be game here. There's just too much here for Reynor, so it looks like he's gonna be taking the lead in the series 2-1. Lings are flooding behind this. Clem's trying to hold on, but there's just not enough. He's getting some counter damage done. He's right-clicked on it, but I don't think there's too much. GG gets called. Reynor takes the game. Bit of a build order win. He was just sort of behind there. If Clem had sort of identified that, he would have been in a bit of a better situation, but there's only so much you can do. Next match is going to be... 4th is going to be Blackpink. We've had some crazy games on Blackpink in the past too, so we'll just have to see how this one's going to go. Clem's going to have to bring it back. He took the nice 1-0 lead, but and then that second game could have been his. However, it just didn't quite go his way. Alrighty, so we're just getting the players into the lobby, and this could potentially be the last match for the series, but keep in mind, our second match is going to be Sol versus Petit Drogo. Alrighty, there we are. Both the players just getting ready here. Thank you guys for tuning on into the Afreeca world. Our 15th event. Alrighty. We're gonna have to see is Clem gonna be able to bring it back? Now, I mean, maybe he's gonna proxy racks again or something along those lines, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, currently down 1-2, spawning up in the top right-hand side of the map. It is Clem. And his opponent spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map. Making a smart decision in that last game, it is Reynor. Reynor kind of was the player I expected to win this match. He's sort of just been quite a high level, but then Clem shows some real finesse at times. So we'll just have to see. I mean, the second match could have easily gone Clem's way, but he just wasn't quite prepared for that attack, and he has died to a few of those big swells from Reynor, so maybe he needs to work on identifying those a little bit more. So far, it looks like it will be a pool first out of Reynor, just the standard 16 pool, so nothing ridiculously aggressive. There's no gas behind this or anything along those lines. But we'll just have to see. Is Clem going to sort of identify this? Will he go for that safety Marine? Or will he have the sort of Terran Nightmare happen in which a few Lings get around? Clem so far has sort of played it safe. He's kept his Reaper back at home one of those games. He made the Marine in the first one, so we'll just have to see. Oh, that's no good. That SCV not mining there. So that's no good for Clem. He's probably just on autopilot at this point too. It's just one of those things you don't notice. But this could actually throw off his build just a little bit. One SCV not mining. They mine what, like 60 min? Oh, there we go. He fixes it. One SCV not mining like 60 minerals a minute or something. Can't quote me on that. I know it's and it's a pretty significant number for StarCraft 2. So he does fix it, but could be thrown off a little bit. Now, Reaper is staying at home so far. It's going to move out. The Lings are moving out for Reynor here. Now, is this Reaper going to go all the way across? A Marine is the follow-up, so he won't be dead in the water by any means. And the Reaper is heading to the Watchtower. The Lings are electing to take the other path, but so far, the Reaper's moving back for Clem, and he may actually just intercept this here. I'm liking this out of Clem, playing it safe, showing a lot of respect. If you were playing versus someone like a Laser, maybe you wouldn't do this. But versus someone like Reynor, it is important. The Marine is going to get caught. There is going to be the Reaper back at home, though. We'll see if the CC finishes. Will it? Yes, it will. Good save there, too, on the SCV. Now he's going to have to micro to save this. Well, to just clean this up in general. Lings are chasing down this Reaper. 2 of those Lings are pretty bruised. Only 3 remain. SCV gonna come out of there, come out of hiding. Reaper having to micro back and forth. Now, Reynor didn't quite get what he wanted to do. Those Lings, I guess, would have been a little late to delay the CC regardless. But could have maybe forced a lift. But Clem making a smart move there. Making a Cyclone, interestingly enough. So this is likely going to be the one Medivac Cyclone Marine drop here. Meanwhile, the Reaper is going to poke across the map. A nice change from Hellions. Now, Reynor going for a Roach Warren once again. And this is a bit of an early one here. There's no lair or anything on the way as well just yet. This could just be for safety roaches here. Or this could be for a big swell of roaches, but I don't think it's going to be for a big swell because no other gases have been started. Reaper's looking around here. Hellion follow-up is interesting for this. Maybe to try and fake out his opponent a little bit. But this could be scouted here by this Overlord, and it will be. We'll see if Clem unloads. He will. He's going to pick off the Overlord. Gets that. Going to load up and move on out. Third CC could be going up right here in a second. And there it is. Interesting build out of Clem here. It's one of the more sort of scrappy Terran builds, going for sort of an odd composition of units. But so far he's making more Hellions behind this. There's an armory as well, so it looks like this will be a bit of a poke. Banshees, Hellions with the Medivac and 1 Cyclone. There's a good chunk of roaches out for Reynor already. But these were rather early roaches, so sort of a stronger later push could be good for Clem here. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, the Cyclone working away on some of these roaches. How many units have gone down? Just 1 Marine. And that was the Marine at the start of the game. A few of these roaches are very bruised. They could always be turned into Ravagers, though. Not that Reynor has a ton of extra gas he's floating. Banshee's coming in. Could one-tap these roaches. Well, not quite one-tap, but does need to move on in here. Working away on some of these roaches. Overseer gets started, as there is the lair already done. Cloak's going to be done too. He can work away on this queen. If he kills off this queen, there's nothing else to stand up against this. There's the 3 queens now. There's these Hellions, but they haven't had a chance to transform. The Cyclone goes down. That's actually a lot of damage out of this push, and a few of the Marines fell, so this push sort of falling flat on its face. The Banshee's still getting some good damage done, though, with no spores that it has to dance around. However, Clem not microing this. Gonna have to get back with that. Now, the third base is going to be exposed once again to this Banshee. However, now Hellions diving into the main base, so Clem looking for damage in multiple angles right there. That Banshee denying mining at the third. A lot of drones falling in the main base here. They're lining up there. 17 drones fall in total, so now Clem with the worker lead. That Banshee only got 5 kills, but the Hellions got a lot more there. Another Banshee comes in. That will go down, though. Or not quite, though. Nicely done there. And there's no spores for Reynor here, so Reynor taking a bit of damage there, and it is going to be a mech follow-up. I was actually wondering that, but my poor observing, I did not check. So that mech follow-up is on the way here. Reynor may scout this when he sees the Hellbats. He's going for a counter roach push. However, there is the Banshees. Really, there is just one Banshee. The others across the map. Hellbats can buffer. However, this Banshee will take a while to clean this up, so it could be a bit of a rough spot here for Clem. This is a lot of supply in roaches. He can afford to lose a few SCVs. These tanks are going to have to siege up before these roaches get in. And these roaches are very clumped up, though. These tanks are going to shred them. The Banshee's still doing work. However, these tanks will fall as soon as most of the roaches have been cleaned up now, though. The Banshee should be able to clean up the rest of them there. That's one Hellbat going to be picked up, microed. These Hellbats doing their job with buffering for these units. Third base has a few SCVs, though, so he's going to have to be careful with those. Maybe need to run them. Clem can't really... well, he can afford, but he shouldn't have to. Banshees are going to clean up the rest of these roaches here. But Reynor got a bit of damage done there. Nothing too critical. Clem's still in quite a decent situation versus a Zerg with no real tech to his name. Now we've got 2 Thors on the way, whereas a Spire is the tech of choice for Clem, and I believe it's likely going to be that double Thor drop. Yeah, there's already the 2 Medivacs out there. A few more roaches poking into the natural. Some fresh mules could go down. These Banshees will be able to pick them off. However, that's still a nice victory there for our Zerg player from Italy. A few more roaches kiting these Hellbats. These Medivacs can heal them up, though, so they can, in theory, not die. Well, one of them goes down. Reynor having to micro his heart out. He's floating a lot of resources here. He's got a 4th on the way. Looks like he's just banking up for these mutas, though, but with these 2 Thors and well, more tanks on the way. There's no eBay out for Clem just yet. He may not be expecting mutas in a situation like this. Banshees could do with being repaired here. Thors are going to be flown around. They could just land right on top of these roaches here. And they are. Look at that. They're going to be able to pick off that Overlord there. Another Overlord is going to go down. Now these mutas are going to be on the way, though. Or actually, were mutas skipped? Nope, 9 mutas are on the way. They're going to be going into the main base, and Clem's actually going to be rather exposed here. He doesn't have any more Thors in the main base. There's no turrets or anything. There's not even an eBay here. So it's literally just these 2 Thors, which are now going to be across the map for the anti-air. Overseer actually gets saved. Clem needs to be sending these Thors back at home, but there's nothing else. There's 2 Liberators, which I suppose could be repaired as they pop out. But with these mutas, Clem could be in a lot of trouble. He's also floating a lot of energy on that command center there. But there's not much else for Clem. These Liberators are here, but they're just going to buy time at best. They're going to go down. These Thors are on their way home. However, this is going to be some nice damage coming out of Reynor here. And eBay starts. However, it's a little late. Another Thor is on the way. However, some units and SCVs are going to start falling. Clem has a decent economy, but he can't really take that for granted. Thors are going to land on in here. However, the boost already has been used, so these mutas can always dance around a little bit. So that's a nice bit of damage done there, and there's 3 armories for Clem there. So this is a bit of a scrappy game, you can tell. Roaches get on top of these tanks, dealing a bit of damage there. Resources lost-wise. Reynor a little bit behind. Economy-wise, Reynor is up to 4 bases, though. These Hellions getting into the main base once again. I mean, bit of a flashback from the start of the game. 11 drones have fallen so far, so nicely done there. 12 in total. That's a nice bit of counter damage for Reynor there. He's got the 2 Medivacs as well. They can be used to chaperone these Thor or these Mutalisks away. Siege tank gonna be caught out. Every unit that these mutas get is valued. Now these Medivacs with the Thors in them could possibly get some nice pickoffs here. However, there's a lot of roaches coming in. These Thors unload, but now the natural is exposed. There's only a turret just being built now if that gets up, but it actually gets cancelled there. That's a pretty big deal. This Thor gonna be used to shoo the mutas away. However, 16 SCVs have fallen. Clem has been building them while all this has been going on. Meanwhile, Reynor's trying to poke in, trying to get an end game here, it seems. Clem's taking a lot of economic beating, though. This turret, though, will help out this time around, but he can't lose too many more SCVs. He's taking a lot of damage. He's got his upgrades continuously rolling, so he's got fantastic upgrades compared to his opponent, but he needs to get his economy going. He can't really have... I mean, he's in a decent position still. He's got fantastic upgrades. He's producing quite a bit. Look at all the energy on that command center. That's going to be able to drop some fresh mules when the time comes. He's got quite a bit of CC energy. It's that Terran sort of phobia in which you think you need scans for maybe pushing later, or for maybe burrowed units. Happens more versus Protoss with DTs. But Clem is now getting up the space here. He's done a good job with these Thors. How many kills does one is at 7? Both of them are at 7 kills here. Some Hellions going to be going for some more harassment. Upgrade wise, Clem's still going to have the lead in a second. They'll technically be tied for a minute or two, but with the 3-2, this mech army could be very scary here. Clem's producing pretty much everything he can. He does have this 4th base up finally. He doesn't have to worry about these mutas. He's scanning. He sees the Greater Spire here. Now, Clem may be able to go for a push in just a minute. Try and hit a timing before the Thors come out. I would like to see Blue Flame. Blue Flame Hellbat. But these Vipers are actually abducting a lot of these siege tanks, and the upgrades still aren't finished, so this could be a little rough right now. He's going to have to stand tall. Going to have to micro these Thors. One of them goes down. A lot of units being shredded by those tanks, though. But Reynor getting a nice pick off there, catching Clem out on the map. These supply depots looks like they will be falling. No siege tank at the 3rd base anymore. I was wondering if that tank was still there. Nice bit of damage done there by Reynor, keeping his opponent a little bit pinned here. Now the upgrades are finished, so these tanks will absolutely shred this Roach Hydra army whenever they get shots off. But time seems to be on the favor of Reynor. It seems, as he's just getting into his 5th base right now. Clem's taken a lot of beating this game. That being said, he's not in a horrendous position, but he has taken a fair bit of damage. +2 armor going to be finishing up for Clem, so these units will be a lot tougher. There's a good spread on the siege tanks, however, looks like Reynor's just going for some abduction to get out. Whether that was really worth it is a different question. Notice he's bleeding off a lot of supply. Another Thor gets caught, though. He's doing a good job picking off these units, taking trades. Clem is behind on the resources lost, so it's clearly working out for Reynor right now. Scans going down, so Clem in a bit of a rough situation, and keep in mind, he needs to win this game and the next one if he wants to advance to the finals. Getting a bit of harassment done with these Hellbats. Going to be unloading in the natural there. This Medivac is quite weak, though. Going to be opting to head towards the 5th base, though. And Reynor, he's got a 6th, though. He's spreading creep. He's pretty much got his half of the map outlined here. Reynor's going to have to sit back for a while. He's going into this Raven tech. He's making a few Vikings as he scouted the Greater Spire. But it's gonna be tough for him to come back. If he has a bit of time so he can reach 200. But I don't think he should be making siege tanks anymore, as Brutal Lords are on the table, and he did see that. I mean, the Thors kept getting abducted, but I think they're the right call. Maybe just really heavy emphasis on Vikings and Ravens at this point. He's getting a bit of a Hellion run by, which is nice. 5 drones going down. Doesn't have Blue Flame just yet, but still getting plenty of damage done there. He also sees a Broodlord, so he's really got to be aware of this. So I'd like to see siege tank production end because 17 is plenty. His remaining 30 supply as he maxes out really is going to need to be anti-Broodlord. It's taken him a while to get to there, though. He's got a few Vikings. Currently we're looking at 5 Vikings, 8 Broodlords, 2 Ravens. So, I mean, assuming he has a good setup, I think he should be able to hold off versus this army. The Vipers will always be a threat, though. Ravens are just building up energy here. Thors are on the way too, which is good to see. A good chunk of Hellbats to buffer. Viking's going to work away on some of these units. Whoever abducts is going to pick off 1 or 2 of them. Transfuses from the queens that were brought to the front lines, so it's going to be tough for Clem to hold on here. And Viking getting abducted, he has been bleeding out. Reynor doing a fantastic job using that abductability, and now some tanks are going to be under fire as these broods poke forward. Vikings are going to have to show on up, but a parasitic bomb goes down on 2 of the units there. A Viking immediately lands. Spores are getting set up. Clem may manage to secure this base. As Corruptors come out, though, this is going to become very rough for him. A lot of siege tanks. It may be time for a good old siege tank run by here, as they're pretty much just dead weight at this point, as this main battle is about the air interaction here. Vikings being produced as fast as Clem can, but with spores on the front lines, it's a little rough for him. He is managing to hold on right now, though, but I honestly would like to see a few of these siege tanks pack up and then just say head to one of these bases. They're not doing too much else at this point. Yeah, they're expensive, but he's got too many. He needs to free up supply for more important anti-air units. So that is what I'd like to see. Upgrade-wise, he's got the ship weapons at least. But he does need to hold on to this 5th base. So yeah, I'd like to see some of these siege tanks move on out, go for some harassment, and there we are. Or they're actually moving to the front lines, it seems, but I don't know if he needs more tanks up here. They're more or less just a wall. Okay, they're going to siege up there. Now, even if Clem does secure this base, though, it could be a little rough. That's a fantastic anti-armor missile, by the way, but it's not going to really get any better for him. He's just going to remain pinned here until he eventually requires a new base, and I'm not sure he'll be able to push out for that. Seeing as how there's particularly a base built here by Reynor, literally just that says, you're not taking this expansion. But now Clem is moving out. These Broodlords could fall, and there's not too much supply here. The tanks are poking forward. They're getting some shots off. Most of the ground army has fallen, but the Thors have fallen as well. So there's not too much left to challenge these Corruptors, and there's not too many Vikings, which is the main issue. But yeah, GG gets called. Clem tried to break his opponent, realizing the situation he was in. And ultimately, he taps out there.